is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient and soon it can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This is
All right, guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I was fixing to drive that thing in the shop, but it didn't sound like it was making much noise. We drove it in the trailer, but it definitely sounds like it has a rod knock now. So I just went ahead and shut it off. We'll go ahead and get this thing pushed in and then snatch the motor out, see what's wrong. I got a feeling what we're gonna find is wrong is this back cylinder back here. When this thing flooded with fuel, when the fuel pressure regulator went bad, it goes directly in this line right here. It went back to the intake, straight down this hole here, the back cylinder. I bet we crushed the rod bearing, is what I'm going to probably say. Kill rod bearing. So we're going to snatch it out today real fast, get it out, get it apart. A lot of racing happening in the next few weeks. So hopefully we can get this thing back together. We'll see. We're going to pull this oil filter off in a minute. We're going to cut it open with the oil filter wrench and see if we got any bearing material. We definitely still have a problem. We're not getting oil over here on this side. But maybe, I mean, see, this side over here is oiling like crazy. Maybe we've got a restrictor issue that is happening behind the camshaft. I ended up, I don't know if y'all remember, I ended up not using the restrictor from Dart, but I used a regular 1/4 inch restrictor, but it looked the same. Maybe that restrictor's backed out or something. Oil pressure did look a little funny, but that might be just because there's so much alcohol in it. I mean, we still had 60 pounds of oil pressure. So we're going to pull the oil filter apart real fast and cut it open and see if there's any metal in there. Probably take the intake off. We're going to definitely take the whole turbo kit off, or at least the hot side stuff. It'll be interesting to see if it makes back up. God, if it don't make up, I'm gonna lose my crap. I won't show y'all that on video. But we got to figure out what's going on. Maybe the motor is not hurt. It wouldn't spool up though. Why wouldn't it spool up? What would be wrong with it if it wouldn't spool up if it's not a rod or something? Something in the transmission. Dump valve's not opening. We got to change camshafts. This camshaft's got to come out. The camshaft's got to go bye-bye. But, you know, maybe, I mean, it kind of sounds like a flex plate torque converter issue. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a slow spooling. Dude. It was like, I mean, it did come, but it was a little slow.
I could hear it over there coming and coming, and I'm already going to do.
It's, yeah, that was interesting. We think possibly his, we didn't think about it, but if y'all remember on his, when, we think he might have, the blow-off valve was leaking, so he taped it shut. So we think maybe, we didn't think about it until right now, with the blow-off valve not having pressure on the top of it from the engine. Well, it had pressure on it, but it was just venting through. There's no pressure on that diaphragm. And that big diaphragm, it may have just pushed the diaphragm open. And then he don't know what the noise is. He picked up a little noise. And so, you know, being smart, you know, when he cranked it up in the staging lanes, the noise sounded worse on Saturday. So, you know, smart not to race it. Kind of same thing with like mine when it wouldn't spool. You know, I just went ahead and bumped in so that, or I didn't bump in, I rolled in and cut the car off. And, you know, you don't want to cause more damage, not when you know it's hurt. So that's where we're at with his car and my car. So we're going to work on mine a little bit. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Let's take the oil filter off real fast. You see the difference in the oiling on this side versus this side, though. But it may be something with restrictors. We also use this bad to the bone cutter that Rodney got us for cutting oil filters apart after I about destroyed my hand. So what we're going to do now real quick, I mean, this thing is definitely contaminated. So we're going to take a torch and we're going to heat this up. And you can see, I'm just trying to get the oil clean. We're going to get the methanol and the condensation out of it. That's the good thing about this brad pen is you can boil it and the moisture will come right out. We'll just be very careful not to. I done this in my house one time. That was bad. That was real bad. Kelly was not as happy with me as I would have expected, but let's get, and that's moisture and methanol. I wonder what would happen if I take the torch and go down in the inside. I don't know, we ain't gonna try that. All right, you can see most of the methanol is now boiled off. See, I mean, it's hot, but I can still grab that very easily by being hitting it just real slow and light. And you see how it's still got a little bit of methanol coming up, and you can smell the methanol. It is cleaning up though. That's the thing about brad pen is you can heat it up and get it up to like 180, 190 degrees, and it will 100% boil the condensation and the moisture out of the oil, and you can use it a little longer. So we're getting, the reason I did that, I want to get the moisture out to get it to where it would flow more. And I wanted to look down in here and see if there's any material in this. All right, guys, well, that is exactly what I was hoping would happen. We got the oil hot enough, we got the moisture out of it, and you can see it looks like metal flake. So that metal flake right there is bad. So even though we couldn't see it in the filter because the oil was so thick. So we definitely 100% have killed some bearings. We're just talking. We may try to just get the oil pan off of it. This is where one of those times where having the oil pan to where you can get it off in the car is helpful. It may not hurt the crank or anything. We may be able to just... All right, guys, so good news. I had forgot that we moved this motor up, you know, for the no prep world, trying to get the center of gravity up a little bit higher. So there is room 100% to get this oil pan off. We don't know if we got to take the steering, the rack and pinion off of it or not, but shoot, we might not even have to take that off. But for sure, we can get it out with taking this off, so we don't have to have one of those fancy outlaw K members. So yay. So let's do that real fast. I got the torque converter bolts loose. We're about to go ahead and take the transmission loose. And then I pulled the diaper down and I was like, well, shoot, I think you can get it out. So let's pull it out real fast and see what we got. All right, so Brian's trying to get the oil pan off. It is, I used good silicone. No gasket, just silicone. And it is tight. Oh, it's about to come loose. Randy, come over here. He just joined us. What's up? So Randy just told us also t-shirts that we ordered. They'll be out soon. We'll be shipping those, so everybody that got a t-shirt, appreciate it. They'll be going out in the mail in probably a week or two. So, well, that thing is tight, ain't it?
Okay, it's all broke loose on
All
this
right,
side.
it's broke loose on that side. So get on the other side. All right, guys. Well, we are going to end up having to snatch the motor out. Look in between that main bearing right up there. You can see the copper. So it has squeezed the bearing out. The thing I am concerned about is if it has, it's a main bearing issue, if it has spun it. This is a piece of metal. It's shaved aluminum, which is the side of the bearing. So hopefully it's not destroyed. We may be taking this crankshaft out. It's a super nice crankshaft, but being, you know, what it is and the spacer bearings and this block, you know, that could be an issue. So yeah, so we're gonna pull the motor out real fast. We're almost got it to that point. Get it on the engine stand, turn it over. All that copper coat sealed everything. Some people that were giving me crap about the copper coat, especially on the pistons. I was like, guys, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna burn off real fast. And it did, I'm sure. I don't know, we ain't took the heads off of it yet. Now, what if that copper coat's still on the pistons?
Coat all our pistons.
That's right, we got a new coating. We have a new coating called copper coat. It's a new. That is funny. So I don't know why. I mean, the oil was heavily contaminated with alcohol. You know, it's one of those things that could have been it, but it also could be, you know, after running this thing hard with an aluminum motor, with an aluminum block, the spacer bearings may be the issue. Never done it with it. I mean, we're trying to make a bunch of power out of this thing. So
It's spun the spacer of the bearing.
yeah, because I have had it happen in the old block over there, but it spun both of them, and we had to align home the block. So we may be in that same boat. Okay, so we're gonna get this thing out real fast and turn it over, get the crankshaft out of it, try to get it completely disassembled so we can see what we need to do. We may be hunting more stroke, something with 400 mains, and it's time to change the rods anyway. So yeah. All right, guys, so we got this thing out. Wasn't too bad, not too bad to get it in and out. Got a zipper on it, essentially. So, you know, we definitely killed a main bearing. There could be an issue with the way I've got the restrictors in there. I really don't know. So we need to revamp, reevaluate, and see if we can figure out exactly what's happening. So we're gonna get this thing completely apart tonight. The oil pan's already off of it. All right, guys, so the intake's off, and there it is. This is where you always see the metal, is if you've got a bearing issue, is right here in the lipper galley. And we 100% have a bearing issue. So now we got to figure out why. So we're going to take it all apart. It's all got to be cleaned. There's some pretty good shavings in there. Probably where the bearing, man, that gasket seal look good too. Well, he's gonna try to get those off so I don't have to buy another set.
I'm gonna throw away that can of high tech you've done.
Dude, that stuff's awesome. Look, nothing moved. So we're gonna snatch these off real fast. So clearly this block's gonna need to be disassembled and re-cleaned. Hopefully we can. Hopefully it doesn't need a lot. If it has spun a main bearing, then we may be in trouble. All right, let's keep going. Boy, y'all ain't gonna believe this. Some of the copper coat survived on the piston. We now come up with a new thermal barrier. It's called copper coat. I can't believe it survived. It mostly survived. It kind of will scrape off a little bit, but I don't understand how it even survived anything. I mean, because it scrapes off. You would have thought the flame of 1,500 horsepower would have been sufficient, but apparently not. So, hurt anything? Probably not. The good thing is we didn't get any type of water leakage from what it appears. So he's taking that one off, and then we'll roll this thing over and get the pistons out. right, guys, here's your chance to have some official Turbo John Carnage parts. These are not Carnage. Well, I guess they kind of are Carnage. These rods are out of the motor from 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. These are GRPs, 6200, and we took them out before we broke them. And we're also going to have MGP rods that I'm pulling out now, the motor that we just tore up. So we've got 8 rods here, 8 rods there, that's 16, and I've got 3 or 4 broken ones from a couple years ago. Or not broken, but they're kind of damaged too, they're GRPs. So if you want those, go check out our website. These are 50 bucks a piece. And we're also going to be tossing up some other broken parts, lifters, pistons. We've got a bunch of other connecting rods, lint, steel I-beam rods. They make great stocking stuffers if you know somebody that likes to watch our videos. Appreciate it, guys. And of course, we will be signing all of these. I don't know what happened. Well, what we think happened, what we're hypothesizing. So we have some spun bearings. The spacers are actually spinning in the block. And this is the one that is the worst. That's the one we could actually see. So yeah, we got issues. The only thing we can think of, potentially, aluminum block expands a little bit more when it gets hot. Maybe the spacer bearings are not a good idea on an aluminum block for us. So that's going to be the solution. Rod bearings, you see what happened. I mean, once it spun these, once it covered the oil hole, I mean, it ain't got nothing to do. You don't get oil to the rods. And so that's exactly what happened. These started spinning, moved, covered the oil up. Then we lost oil pressure and oil flow to the rods. This crankshaft is turned 30 thousandths already on the mains. So the mains are probably trashed. I mean, they could potentially polish them. We ain't got it apart yet to where we can actually see. The rods are at 20, so it could go to 30. Which this is a Bryant crank, so, you know, they do a real good nitride hardening. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I mean, Shaft Tech could probably weld the journals up, re-nitride it, and actually fix it. I actually talked to them at one point about welding the main journals up to build them up to a 400 main, and they said they could absolutely do it. So, you know, I may be giving them a call again. I don't remember what the price was, but I don't know. I mean, how much is a Bryant crankshaft now? $5,000, $3,000, $3,500? I mean, it's a nice crankshaft. I bought it used off of eBay. It come out of a roundy round car. So, I mean, it's one of those things. I got a good deal on it. But it is a very nice crankshaft. It may be able to be salvaged, but it may not be. Which, you know, it would be nice. I mean, the pistons are in good shape. They're fine. The rods, I mean, we're on the 2nd season of the rods. We were going to take these rods out anyway. Most of these that lost the bearings, and you can see the rods are black back there too. So, I mean, you know, clearly there again, it got hot. This rod right here, I don't even know which number that one is. That is number 6. So that is back there where the problem is. You can see the side of the rod here is in terrible shape. So, oh yeah, it tried to spin this one too. No, it actually did spin this one, Brian. The pin is gone almost in this one. Are fine. They're CP bullets. So that's okay there. So we got some work to do. We got to figure out what we're going to do in the next couple weeks to get this thing back together. I could always throw a Scat crankshaft in it, a Scat 4340. How fast we go with that Scat 4340 in mine? And I went 450s with it. And then the only reason it fell apart and broke is because we broke an H-beam rod. Because we shouldn't have had H-beams in it no way. So yeah, it might be getting a Scat. We're gonna look around. We're gonna get with Ohio crankshaft. The biggest thing is making sure that this block is in good shape. When I say in good shape, I mean it might have to be line bored and honed. I imagine it can be repaired if it needs to be. We've got old Krusty over here. So it's still available if we need to put it back in. I don't want to, just, you know, but we made no passes. We were at Battle at the Beach and then this race this weekend. That's it. That's the only races we've been to. And nothing but issues. So I don't know. Maybe the aluminum block's not meant to be for my combination. So I don't know. We're going to see. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. Figure out what we can do. Maybe it's time to do an LS swap.
Got 1%.
He's going to probably sell his. He wants to go big block Chevrolet. I want big block too. Man, big block prices are woo. It's high dollar stuff. All right, guys. Well, we're out. We're done. We'll figure it out. It's part of it. It's racing. Crack brakes all the time. You can either kick yourself in the teeth and go sit on the couch, or you can figure out a way to fix it. We're going to figure out how to fix it. And if we can't fix this one, we'll find something else and we'll keep racing. All right, guys. Comment, like, and subscribe. Later.